So this is the Oz report for November 23rd, 2024. And as always, let's jump into the game client and talk about Plex and Plex adjacent items first. Starting with Plex, we have just still continuously rising, very high Plex prices. We were talking about early on stream, 0.1 trade days available. There's simply not enough Plex left in the system. There's not enough players buying Plex, putting it on the market. There is a ton of New Eden store sales that people are excited and waiting for. There are a lot of people with skill farms. So people are hoarding or using their Plex and they're not putting it on the market. And that the result of this is current sell price in JITA of 5.9 million. That is absolutely insane. The lowest sell order in JITA itself is 5.94 million. That is pretty crazy, and that's just making Eve a very, very expensive game for people that are subscribing with Plex, whether it be through ISK, through packages or whatever. However people are doing it, it's the value of it is just mind-boggling right now. Skill extractors, those are rather cheap, right? They are still recovering from the last sale. As I always tell you guys, when the sale happens, typically I buy a lot, you all buy a lot. You can see that here. Skill extractor sales are some of my favorite and some of your favorite sales that are happening in EVE Online. And again, here you could have bought skill extractors here sub 500 easy. If you on buy orders, I think we were at like 480 or something. And we're now at sell orders in JITA of 525 million, and they are very much liquid. So you can sell these anytime. It's very, very easy, even on sell orders. And you can also buy them during sales on buy orders very easily. So overall, skill extractors, if you have the ISK to invest, there are some of the best money-making opportunities in EVE Online. Skill injectors, we talked about this also earlier on stream quite extensively. They have been dropping. They've been dropping steadily since about April. We are now at buy order prices of 817 and sell order of 847 million. So that's compared to almost 950 million in April. And my theory here is one, skill farms had to liquidate a lot of their skill injectors to buy skill extractors again. Excuse me. And also, the new expansion didn't really draw in too many players, and it also didn't have a lot of skill requirements. And so there isn't a lot of demand outside of the ordinary here for large skill injectors. And so they're not they're just not in a very good place right now. Having said that, I do think they are in a territory where they are a good long-term investment if you want to tie up a bunch of ISK and let it sit there. And you feel like the Plex price is too high to buy right now. One quick word about Master cerebral accelerators, because I've been, you guys know me, I've been hating on these for a while because they were just too expensive, and now we're finally we've pushed them down, so there's pretty much parity with the New Eden store cerebral accelerators, because those you have to buy with Plex, and the Plex price is so high that they're becoming expensive now. So currently, if we're looking at Master cerebral accelerators, I can finally say that this is actually a fair price for them at current market level, and that is 75 million and 70 million buy. And I think that's pretty much what we've been saying for the last 6 months, that's where these should end up. And now they ended up there, and now you can safely buy these again. Remember, these are generated through Recruit a Friend. So this is basically these are supplied by people that are recruiting a lot of people into EVE. That's typically community leaders or streamers or people that create a lot of alt accounts for themselves. Anyway, that's Plex and Plex adjacent items. One honorable mention is Hypercores. Okay, Hypercores are used for the Hypernet, which I don't support. I really wish it wasn't part of the game, but it is. And so these Hypercores you need to buy to create auctions on the Hypernet. And so we've had two massive sales here in the last 12 months, one in March and one in October. And so prices were historically low, and they were even lower about 3 weeks ago because people needed to liquidate some of the investments they made to take advantage of the skill extractor sale. And ever since then, since this low point, it has actually been rising again. This week alone, I think we are at what plus 8.7% on hypercores, which is significant. And so I think that's there's a lot of people breathing a sigh of relief, because a lot of people just spend a lot of money on these hypercores. I do still think there's way too many out there. The last sale was so popular that so many people put their money into hypercores, and so it might be, I don't know, maybe months, might be years for this to recover completely. But decide your exit point and go with it. I think when these hit the previous level of the pre October sale level or pre September sale level at 440,000, I think that's when a lot of people are going to sell, and I'm going to be tempted as well. Now let's look at what's trending up. Okay, if we're looking at the category of trending up, and we're going to go back to the dashboard right here, you immediately see the Kikimora is up 45%. So this is similar to the Dracovac of a couple of weeks ago. This is just somebody buying a whole bunch of Kikimoras, or a lot of people buying a bunch of Kikimoras. This is not the price of Kikimoras increasing because there was a huge change in their raw material or something. This is just the Kikimora market reacting to demand. If we look at the what this looks like in game, this is essentially what you're looking at. Kikimoras are mostly driven by abyssal materials, so crystalline, isogen 10, and I forget what the other one is now, but I can't believe I'm forgetting it. It's 0 point condensate. Yeah, 0 point condensate, right? Yeah. And you can see here their price was rising, and this price was rising, and it's dropping now. But Kikimoras are essentially just a spontaneous market movement reacting to just somebody buying a whole bunch of them. That's why the price is spiking right now. The rest of it is basically abyssal filaments. So we have raging exotic filaments up 38%. That is a lot. I don't know if these people are now farming for Kikimora blueprints and materials, or whether this is just people reacting to balancing changes and using new ships. Raging exotic filaments were always very popular, as are the chaotic darks that we see here on the in short supply list. And so this is not surprising. This is just sometimes people are bulk buying these so they can run them, possibly multi-boxing them for weeks at a time. Otherwise, dominated by raw moon materials here, the trending up section. So we have mercury and atmospheric gases up 30% this week. That is a lot, okay? That is a lot. And one reason is because we have seen Metanox moon drills be nerfed in the last few weeks. So we did see some of these going up. That alone wouldn't spike it this much. I'm certain this is also some large producers buying, stockpiling these, and we've seen a lot of changes in. We've seen some balance changes. We've seen a big move by the Imperium. We've seen a lot of changes recently, and probably this also has to do with it's a combination of Metanox changes and increased demand from production. If we look at what's trending down, immediately here, what you're seeing here is the Nomad down 100%. That's not accurate. The Nomad down 100%. I can see you why that is. That's only because Nomads are essentially gone from the market in JITA. So here, there are no Nomad jump freighters left in JITA. They've all been bought. If you are making these, or if you are producing these, then, or if you are stockpiling these, then do drop them on the market right now. Is your time to profit from it. The other thing that we see trending down is, for example, the high grade Amulet Omega here. Hold on, put this back in. High grade Amulet Omega. I think they spiked up last week, so this is not really all that interesting. Trigger units, salvage materials, are down 15%, and agency Pyrolantia down 12%. I think this is people trying to sell in between the two events. So you have the Halloween event done that dropped agency boosters. You have the Christmas event starting soon, which drops the agency boosters, and so people are trying to liquidate these, I think. Let's talk about short supply. So things that are in very short supply. The Nomad we already talked about. It's gone. It's not only short, it's gone. The Kikimora is pretty much gone. Plex at 0.1. 0.1 trade days available. That's basically gone. So even Plex is almost gone from the market. Chaotic Dark Filaments, 0.2% days available, also basically gone from the market. So we've we've several items here that are usually not there. Yes, Plex is usually in this top 10, but 0.1 is very, very low. And so just overall, lots of very extreme market movements this week, which always means opportunities to be had. I want to quickly talk about most underpriced items here. So we have the most underpriced category led by 4 raw moon materials, and that is hydrocarbons, silicates, vanadium, and cadmium. These are the 4 moon materials that are trading the most below 52-week average, driven mostly by the Metanox introduction. If we look at this, what this looks like in the graph, you can see here that, you see this massive drop, and now you're, for only the first time in the last, I would say, 3 or 4 months, you see the short-term trend bucking the midterm trend here. You see those 2 lines crossing. I do think that this represents a good opportunity here to buy on these raw materials, because clearly they've gone through an oversupply phase and a negativity phase, and now they're exiting this valley. I doubt that they will drop much further, and so possibly on all of these, this is a very good buy opportunity. Somebody's chat is saying that they're surprised to see the Gila in the most underpriced category. Don't be. The reason it's there is only for a technical reason. It doesn't make any sense really, because the Gila the blueprint was changed quite radically in June, and so you have it trading 25% below 52-week average, but that's only because the build price was drastically reduced, as were a lot of other faction ships, by the way. You also see the Orthrus on there, and you see the Nestor on there, and that's the only reason they're on there. Okay, I hope I didn't forget anything. Let me check my notes real quick. Yeah. Other than that, for all of you that weren't on the stream, you can also now look at the dashboard anytime you want on theoz.space, which is the new website where I'm putting all the information about and around the Oz report and my other content. Right. So I'll see you guys on the Oz report next week, and then we're going to return to the regular